Hello everyone, I'm back with another video. My name is Sherry Minnie. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator living in Colorado in a small town called Keensburg. We're about 45 minutes northeast of Denver. Sorry I was not here last week. It was a doctor-dentist type day and nothing happened the way it was supposed to, so I just had to let it go for last week. But here we are again, and hopefully I'll try to stay on schedule as best I can, but you all know life happens. So today we're going to do a Christmas card. I'm actually having my annual Christmas Stamp-A-Stack on November 9th, and I have a group of ladies. We always get together and we make cards, and we have a potluck, and it's always lots of fun. So I do quite a few cards, so I have to start kind of early getting them ready. So today, here's one that we're doing. I've actually done two different colorways. When we do a Stamp-A-Stack, I design 4 cards, and then we make 2 of each card. So this one I'm going to do 2 different colorways. So this one is featuring the gold foil and the cherry cobbler, and it's just a beautiful. I'll show you the set we're using, the bundle we're using, and then I did the inside like this. So today the card that we're going to make in the video is actually using green. Now this green foil you will not be able to find. This is from Stampin' Up! Many years ago. I had several sheets left, and in my ongoing quest to use up what I have, I decided I would let them make one red one and one green one. So this is the green version that we'll be making in our card today. So for our supplies, the first bundle we're using is the Decorative Trees, and I'm really only using a couple of these trees here. I think that's the only stamp set that I'm using. And then here are the dies. I love these trees. They've got so many different styles of trees, and we're going to use the one here that has little snowflakes in it. We'll also, for our inside greeting and our front piece, I'm going to use a retired set. This is called Hope and Peace. I hardly ever get rid of a greeting set that's just all greetings, because you never know when you're going to need them. And so we're doing on the front with love and hope, and on the inside we're going to do wishing you the hope and peace of Christ this season. And it's really very hard to be talking about doing Christmas cards. And for the greeting in the front, we'll be using the Greetings of the Season die set, and we're going to use this little tiny label die right there. Okay, and let's see, did I not bring over I guess I didn't bring the die that we're going to use to cut out our trees with. Let me run grab that real quick. And from the Decorative Tree dies, we're going to be using this die right here. See, I need to poke out a little piece that I didn't get out earlier. So those are the 2 dies that we're using. Ink colors, we're going to be using Versamark for the front, a little saying, and then I'm changing it up a little bit for my Stamp-A-Stack, so I try not to use more than 1 color ink pad. It saves confusion to my students that come, and it also saves my pad, so we don't have to worry about getting a pad contaminated with another color. So those are the 2 inks we're using. We'll be using, of course, our gold embossing powder. This is a newer, Stampin' Up! Came out with a new one. This is called Wow, and I really do like it, and they seem to be much more sparkly to me and brighter than what our old ones used to be. Of course, whenever I heat emboss, I always use my little embossing buddy to kind of cut down on the static electricity so that the powder stays where you want it to stay. For the green card, we're using this beautiful shaded spruce ribbon. We're just using a small piece of that, and these are in the September to December mini that goes until the end of December. And you can use whatever embellishments you want. I chose to use either, I guess you say Drussy adhesive backed jewels, or we can use the iridescent faceted gems. And I think that's about it that actually we have, we also are going to be using a couple of embossing folders. The first one is the Forever Plaid, which is a really nice folder. And then on another piece, we're going to use the Snowflake Sky, which I love the snowflakes in here. All right. In our packet, we're using Very Vanilla. So you'll have your envelope. You will have a card base of thick Very Vanilla. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. You'll have a piece of shaded spruce. This one is going to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. You'll have a piece of Very Vanilla that is actually 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to go right here on the front of this piece. You'll have another piece of Very Vanilla that is just a little scrap to do stamping our greeting on, and we'll have another piece that I think this one is 2 7/8 by 3 7/8, and this one has been embossed with the snowflake, and I hope you can kind of see how pretty that is. And here is the one with the Forever Plaid on it. Okay, and then you'll have a piece of foil, whether it be green or red. This one actually measures, let me see if I can find it on my paper here. This is a 3 by 4, and as you can see, I have a hole in this. And I've already done all the die cutting that we need to have done. And so what you're going to do with this piece of foil, you're going to put your tree die down on the front of it. And we're going to run it through the Stampin' Cut Emboss. And when you do that, then you end up with this pretty little tree like this. Plus you have this piece that you are be able to attach your, let's see, actually I guess we're going to, you have another piece of shaded spruce, and this one is, oh my goodness, 2 7/8 by 3 7/8, and this is going to go on here, and then your pretty embossed piece will go on there. There's lots of layers on this card, but it's really not that difficult once you get everything put together. So I'm going to put these away so I don't lose them, and we will get started with stamping first. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece, and we are going to take our little embossing buddy, and we're going to run it across. I'll put it back in here so I don't lose it. And we are going to take our Versamark ink. This is the clear sticky ink. And oh my goodness, I didn't bring half my stuff over here this morning. Whoops. So what happens when you miss a week, then you forget how to do things. So we're going to use this little stamp. It says "With Love and Hope." And we're going to ink it up in our Versamark and stamp it on our sheet of small piece of Very Vanilla. And then we will take our gold embossing powder, and I'll try not to make a mess. And once that is done, then I will take this with my heat tool and heat it up with the heat tool. And then we will cut it out with the little die that I had, which who knows where I put it. Oh, there it is. It's right there. So we're going to use this little die, and we're going to cut it out. And when we do that, oh, actually, this is not. When we do that, you'll end up with a piece like this. And then here is the embossed piece somewhere in here. Come on. See, I cut out a few extras. And here is the embossed piece. Now, you can also cut this out first and then stamp, because it is a clear stamp and you could see through. So that's what we'll be using for that. And we already have our tree. And I think that's all the cutting we need to do. Let me put this little die back on here. Sorry about all my noise and clanging. I'll get it together here in just a second. All right, so let's start putting our layers together. First thing we're going to do, we're going to put this piece, the embossed Very Vanilla piece with the snowflakes, we're going to put on our, and this happens to be shaded spruce. And once again, I don't have my tape. Oh, there it is. So we will take this and we will put it on our shaded spruce piece. We have a very small border, so I'll try my best to get it on here somewhat straight. It's not, I don't do the best when it comes to these teeny tiny borders. I do better with a little bigger one, but I like to keep it size-wise, has to be smaller. Okay, and then this is going to go on top of our green foiled piece. Okay, so I'll again take my stamp and seal, and we're just going to put this down on the foil. Now when it comes to putting adhesive on foil, you want to try and not move it around too much, because if you get adhesive on the foil, it makes an ugly mark on it and it doesn't look very pretty. Sometimes you can't help it, but I try not to get too crazy with it. And this one again is a pretty small border. And we're going to put that down. And that is all built. Now we will take this, our larger piece, and this is the Forever Plaid embossed piece. And we will take and put this down. Normally I would use my green cap glue, but we're just going to go with this and have it. I'll just put a little extra adhesive on it, because it has all these little gullies and you know, places where you've embossed, and you want to make sure that it sticks really well. And we will take this again, it's a small border, and we will put this on. And give it a good rub so that it gets in all those little indentations and so forth. Okay, now this is going to go on top of our card base. Like so. Again, we're working with an 1/8 inch border, so it's not a very big border. Rub that all down. Oops, it looks like I got a little bit of glue on this piece. I don't know, I must have had it on my fingers. I think I can get it off with my adhesive remover. Okay. Now we're going to build this piece before we put it on the front of our card. And so what goes on here like all this. You probably can't even see it on the camera, but I can see it. So this is where our little tree goes. Now, it's very small. There's not a whole lot of room to put adhesive on, but there's enough to hold it. I did try using the sticky strip or sticky sheets, and I did a couple of them like that, but I didn't. It's just harder to cut it out with, because you have more depth to go through. And so I decided, okay, we're going to try it without the sticky sheet, and we'll see if we can get enough glue. We'll definitely want to use a small applicator, and I will have those. Excuse me, I'm going to get the hiccups for some reason. I'll have those available in class. But you have these pieces right here, and I didn't clean this out, so hopefully I can get it to come out. A little bit hard, but I got some, so I think we can make it work. So we're gonna just take this, and we're just gonna put a few pieces, a few dots of glue around in some of the And some of them it's going to be a little hard. I see a little piece here that didn't come out, poke out. Okay. It's such a light piece that you don't need hardly any glue to get it to stick, so I'm not too concerned about it. I think we'll be just fine. Okay. And then I just kind of put it in the middle, down fairly close to the bottom. And you want to just kind of lay it flat because it's such a fine piece that you can pull it off. It can get really crooked. All right, come on. I think it's a little crooked. I don't like the way it looks. Okay. Now we're going to just push down on all those places that I put glue. Might be a little crooked, but hey, some trees are crooked, right? Not all trees grow straight. All right, there we go. Isn't it pretty? I just think it's so pretty. Okay, then what we're going to do, this is actually going to have dimensionals on the back of it. And you can see where I cut it out, but nobody's going to see that part. Let me find some dimensionals here. Looks like about all I have are small ones, but I got enough here. So we're going to just take and put dimensionals on this piece. And I did quite a few because that's the way I roll. Hope you're all doing well. We're doing fine. I'm filming this a couple of days early just so I make sure I get one done. And we're, I think, done with the dentist and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully, it seems like once you start doing a doctor or dentist, it just, one thing leads into another. So now I'm going to take my card base with my green backing, and I'm going to take all the little backings off of my tree piece. Get all of those off. And we're getting close to the end here. It's not too bad. Okay. And then I just centered this as best I could in the middle, trying to have pretty even margins all the way around and staying somewhat straight. Okay. Now this little piece here, what we're going to do is we're going to take, let's see, did I have a little piece of ribbon in here? Thought I did, but I guess I don't. We're just going to take a little piece. Oh, I did. Yes. Here's a little piece of ribbon, and we're going to attach that to our little tag. So I'll show you how. I have a little trick to help you figure out. So before I cut myself off, I was going to say I have a little trick to help you get through a wide ribbon through a little tiny hole like that. It's not always the easiest thing to do. So if any of your children ever had braces, I'm sure you know what this is. These are flossers that they use with braces, and they're very fine, and but they are wonderful little tools to use to put your ribbon through. So what you do is you stick your ribbon through here, and you kind of hold it down. You stick that in through the front part, and then you just pull your ribbon through. Now, if your ribbon's narrower, it's not quite so difficult, but when you have a wider ribbon like this, it gets a little hard to get it through that. So these are invaluable, but they are hard to hang on to. So I always buy a couple of different packages whenever, because you get quite a few whenever I buy a package of them. And then we're just going to take this and we're going to tie a tiny little knot, just a straight knot, nothing fancy, no bow. And we're going to put that right on there, like so, and tighten it up. And we're going to shorten this up. I wanted mine really short. You can have it however you like it to be, but I didn't want mine very long. I don't want it to overpower the tag. And then I will put a dimensional on the back of this tag. And then I will put it right up here kind of at the top, and I just kind of fit it right into the little curve on my tree as best I could, like so. Now for the inside greeting, I'm actually going to use my Stamparatus. And as you all know, and I've said many times, unfortunately, Stampin' Up! No longer sells this, but I have several and I use them all the time. Especially I find in a class situation, it makes it easier for my class people to get their sentiment straight and they're happy with it. And so that's what we do. And so I'm just going to ink this up. And also, if you don't get it dark enough the first time, you can always re-stamp it as long as you don't move your card base, and you can get it on there. But I think that looks pretty good. All right, and so we'll close that up. Now, the only other thing we have a couple other quick things to do. We're going to take a little piece. I just have a little piece of shaded spruce. I think it's 1/2 inch. And we're just going to put it down here at the bottom of our card base. Let me make sure that I cut it the right. Yeah, I did. So I will close up my ink for right now because I like to put my arms in it sometimes. And then I'm just going to take this, go along the bottom of my card. This is my adhesive, my Stampin' Seal Plus or whatever it's called. And I'm just going to stick this along the bottom, and if it sticks out a little bit, which it looks like it's going to, I'll just take my scissors, clip it off. Okay, and there we are done with our actual card is finished. And for the envelope, it's a pretty simple thing. I just took my basic gray, and I could take a piece of scratch paper here because it's going to go off a little bit. And I'm going to use this kind of outline. I'm not doing the whole thing because I think it would be too tall, but I'm just going to stamp it down. And then there's this little fill-in stamp. You can use this alone or you can fill it in. And I kind of like the way it looked filled in. So I'm just going to take this and hopefully be able to get this. And there's your little tree on the front. So that is it. We are very much done with this card. So I hope you liked it. I hope you like the tree. I love the trees. I need to give a shout out to Sue Campfield for the layout on this. I changed it up a little bit, but not a whole lot. And I just enjoy her work, and I always think it's so perfect. I don't really need to mess with it much. So here we are. Here's the golden red. Here's the green. And on the red one, I didn't do the fill-in stamp. I just stamped the boughs by themselves. So that's how I did that. So thank you for taking your time to watch this. I so appreciate any watches that I get, whether I know your time is valuable, and I just appreciate so much you're taking a little bit of it to spend with me. May God bless each and every one of you, and I shall see you real soon. Bye-bye.